Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Hope that you are having a good day and that this VOD makes it just a little bit better. Today we're going to be taking a look at, in my opinion, the best player in the world here in the top left. It is Light, and he's going to be going against one of the most underrated players that there is. I've been saying this for years and years and years. It's Killer. Killer is an amazing Zerg player. Like, he's not that absolute ridiculous top tier. You know, we have like 6 Zergs that feel like they could win ASL at any time. You know, it's like we have Hero, we have Soul Key. You know, we had Larva before, the Queen, Soma. Now, I mean, Soma went to military, right? Queen didn't make it into the most recent ASL, very sadly. If you want to see a video about that, I have one on Artosis TV right now. But then in like action, you know, the effort, there's a lot of really super top end Zergs. But of that second tier of Zergs, I feel like Killer is right up there. And he has a wide variety of plays as well. Very good Zerg, very underrated in my opinion. And that being said, of course, both Killer and Light did make it into ASL Season 17. So, you know, very exciting to see some of these players match up on the ladder before the ASL season really gets going. And we're on Retro. So, should be an interesting game. I think Retro is pretty solid for Zerg vs. Terran. Nothing really super stands out about it. It's just kind of a standard macro map, and there's decent options for Zerg as to where to take their additional bases. And of course for Terran, it's like, okay, well, the third base is pretty easy, and the fourth gets a little bit tricky. Where do you want to take that fourth? It's a little bit hard to defend. You really have to keep that map control going if you want to have a fourth base up in mining. So Light right now, scouting out. He is setting up a wall in his natural. This is a Zergling tight wall. So an excellent wall indeed. And the Marines will pop out here, right? He's kind of pushed that over just slightly, it looks like. So I'm 99% that the Marines pop out here, which makes it just an excellent wall. You're just like basically invincible against early Zerglings. You could really hold off just about anything with about 2 Marines. And that gives Light a lot of flexibility to do what he likes. And in fact, when you have a wall like that, you can see the way that he's scouting. Notice how he just poked in the natural and then goes around. This is something that you cut out. You cut out going into main bases when you do a wall like this. Because, again, you're invincible against Zerglings, so it doesn't matter if they went pool first. You want them to have gone pool first. It's better to just scout where they are quickly to see what macro build they're doing. Because, again, if they go pool first, it's like the Lings literally do nothing. You don't need a bunker. Your command center's super fast, and Zerg is really, really far behind. Not like unplayably far behind, just make that clear. I kind of like oversay it a little bit, but it's at the top pro level, it's significant, right? Like you're not happy with that position for sure. Now we have the layer getting started. That's a relatively late layer at like 305, 306. So that's going to be a slightly higher economy. He should be getting a third hatch in his main base to go with that. Although there is a drone out here. So like there's a possibility he tries to throw a third down elsewhere. Not super common. As far as, oh, he actually popped 2 Marines out. That's kind of interesting. As far as Light's build goes, he is going for a 2 Barracks Academy rush. So he was just kind of poking out front with the 2 Marines. He was looking to see, like, did a Ling come up? Is there, I don't know, an Overlord that's trying to cross? Anything like that. He'll probably pop them back in. And the thing is, you can actually leave them on the outside and just, like, line this with Marines. So if you do attack these, you'll end up losing a lot. Excuse me, sorry. Just a little bit of a cough. But yeah, the Academy is going to be finishing up. There's that third hatchery in the main base for Killer. So very standard stuff that we're looking at, right? The 2 Racks Academy, by the way, this third hatch in the main base, this was made as a soft counter to this build. Because it makes the value of the build a lot less. There was a point in time where every Zerg for their third hatchery was making it on like another base. And so the 2 Racks Academy, you just literally walked that base and kill it. Now, that's less common. Some people still do it, and the 2 Racks Academy can actually just kill that if you realize that's what's going on. So we don't see it all that often. Instead, we see the hatchery in the main, so you only have 1 point you have to defend, and you can either do that with Speedlings, or you can do that with the double sunken, which is, the double sunken is generally how it goes. If you have the Speedlings, things can go wrong. But the counterattack is an important thing that happens here, right? As the Marines move out, you counterattack. Notice how he brings the SCVs down very, very quickly, because this is literally every Zerg vs. Terran game. You counterattack with the Lings. This is an airtight wall. So that means that Light gets to go across the map immediately and force 2 Sunkens immediately, right? Very good position here for Light. Again, so much because of that wall. Stims forward, gets on top of this, but as the Lings come up from behind, he does have to turn and fight them. If he's fully committed on the Sunkens, when he's stimmed up here, right, and the medics are behind and the Lings flank, you will lose everything very quickly. So Light tried, couldn't get the damage, backs up. We have 5 mutas on the way. Some more drones coming up here for Killer as well. Looking at Light's base, he has +1 on the way. He has range almost halfway done. 2 barracks only. He's going to have to start adding his turrets. There's some turrets get started. Will he add a 3rd racks? No. It looks like Light is going to stay on 2 racks production. Now, normally, you can play 2 racks, but if Zerg goes heavy, heavy, heavy on the mutas, you have to build so many turrets, it's almost comical. Because your Marine meta count just isn't that high, and if you end up losing them, you can't really replace off 2 racks. It takes forever. It takes several minutes to get this much, right? 15-second build time, so you can make 4 out of each per minute. So, like, to get this army again off 2 racks, it's a huge time investment. So you can see already has a decent amount of turrets. 2 here, 2 here. Notice how he's adding some more. And he is going to want to get that factory quickly, and he has started that factory as well, by the way. Don't forget, he did get that range upgrade very quickly, so range is already done. And that's something that you always want to do if you're doing a build like this, because the Marines need to help out against the mutas. Leaves a little group of bio down here to help out in case Lings come in or the mutas want to pressure those turrets also. Now, we have the hatchery starting in the bottom right. So that's going to be where Killer's 3rd is. That's really far away. That's going to be really hard to attack. Notice after the factory, Light is adding another barracks. And in fact, 2 more barracks. Very cool. I have seen this from time to time. Starts a single starport, and honestly, he can go for a tank push if he wants. Like, the timing is just about right that he has potential with the tank push to maybe kill Killer before Defilers. Don't know that he's going to do that, though. He's just floating this away. Double starport is on the way. And notice how he is out front right now. He's kind of taken stock of this and said, you know what? You're not actually producing that many Mutalisks, so I can walk out in the front. This type of read is very hard, right? If you are not a top world player, it's going to be really hard to read that it's like from just the couple scans that he put off, he said, you know what, it's not that heavy on mutas. And he's able to move out. Because if you lose this army, it's still very, very hard to replace. But he is getting those extra barracks up, so that's going to make him, it's going to make it easier to sustain these bio counts. Now, lurkers are morphing. They're on the way. 3 over here at that bottom right, so he's going to be able to secure that. And I tell you what, it looks like we have a nice macro game on our hands. The 5th rack's being made, the science facility being made. +1 attack, just finishing up. We'll see if he waits for +2 or wants to start +1 armor. Probably wait for +2 is my guess. It is a little bit better, although that armor upgrade is pretty fantastic on Marines as well. Stims over to the side and, ooh, does get that Overlord. Very nicely done. And Light actually does start that +1 armor. Actually, I think that does make a lot of sense because he's going to be very tight as far as his gas goes, as you can see, right? He just does not have the extra gas. He needs to squeeze out a Radiate relatively soon as well. So he comes in, and he's going to pick off the Queen's Nest. This is actually a relatively common play. The Queen's Nest basically doesn't get used, excuse me, after you start the Hive. Like 95% of games, that's it. You never make any queen. In fact, it's higher than 95%. It's a really high percent. But you put it in front of the Sunkens because it just slows down any attacks into here. So Light picks that off. I like the pick off. And of course, because it is longer than it is tall, it's less powerful in a position like this. Whereas if you're at this natural and it was lengthwise, you could defend it more easily. Isn't that funny? Brutor has a lot of little funny things about it. I guess it's realer in that way, right? Like basketball courts sometimes have dead spots in them, right? We have stuff like that in StarCraft, right? We have real situations. You know, there's weather in football and soccer and stuff like that, and we have similar things where it's like, yeah, you know, this these positions or this map, you know, I don't know. I think it actually gives Brood War a lot of flavor. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Now, the Muta's coming in, and this is some great micro. This is great control. Look at that. Look how many units he's picking off, actually. Now, Irradiate is almost done. And he's actually like, wait, you don't have Irradiate? Because he knows there's enough energy. Okay. Finally, the Irradiate goes off. The Irradiate's going to kill at least 2 Mutas. And in fact, that's a huge amount of damage. Dude, he didn't split. That's so painful. So he loses like 3 Mutas, but also tons of damage. So these are pretty useless for a while. He's probably going to want to sit them either here or here because they're not going to do anything for him, but maybe they can help out with the drop a little later on. Now, Light is setting up his 3rd base. He's got good production. He's got a decent amount of Marines and medics out on the map. More vessels coming down as well. Looks like we just have a little bit of scouting going on with some lings around the map. We have +1 melee as well as Adrenal on the way. So it looks like this will go into Ultralisks, right? Okay, yeah, he's just started the Ultralisk Cavern as I said that. You know, you can tell pretty easily because otherwise you're getting Hydra speed as well as +1 ranged attack. And both are very good. Both are very playable. And in fact, it's maybe more trendy right now to do the Hydra. But anyways, look at this. A Defense Matrix Marine runs up and Killer just doesn't realize a great spread and stim here from Light. And he just crushes. That is sudden. That is super, super sudden. Like, this is incredible damage. He's going to kill this base. Yeah, in fact, Killer doesn't even waste his time. He says GG. Dude, I was, like, getting ready, honestly, for, like, a 25-minute game. That's what this looked like it was getting towards. But that was a good move. I actually want to jump back just a little bit because there was something very special Light did here that you need to see, okay? So he scans, he sees that it's stacked lurkers, okay? Looking at these, he has 1D Matrix, and that's it. So he has 1 Irradiate, 1D Matrix available. Now watch, this is important. He D-Matrixes, okay? And I'm looking around. Has he attacked anything? It doesn't look like it. But here's the thing. He doesn't know where Killer is looking, okay? Now watch, these are all move commands that Light is giving. Notice the move commands. Now, if he attacked this even one time, lightning quick, Killer will jump over here and target the lurkers down the ramp. So this move only works if Zerg doesn't manually retarget. So therefore, Light is just using a bunch of move commands on everything. Because again, if he attacks at all, he'll lose a ton of bile. Like, he won't lose everything. But, you know, he'd lose like probably, not that vessel, but about that much he would probably lose instantly to 3 lurker shots, okay? But notice, and there he starts attacking. And so he starts attacking here, and at this point, it's pretty much too late. Even if you start targeting down here, there's a lot of Marines up here. We have additional spells that are getting ready, and this is ending. He starts throwing stuff through the Nidus. So this was a very surprise move from Light. And again, a dangerous one because it doesn't always pay off. But as soon as you break up in a situation like this and they're just into their Defiler tech, that becomes a quick victory. Okay, guys, I hope that you enjoyed, even though that was a really, really sudden and unexpected ending. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.